be talking about the lost colony of Roanoke. Tonight we've got some guest speakers who will be coming to talk about what they believe happened to the lost colony. Let's bring them on out. First we have Jill Kaser. And next we have May Roberts. She is and by the way, Jill is our assimilation expert, and May is our Indian attack expert. And last but not least, we have Carol Smithson. She's our Let's get started. Roanoke is the lost colony that the people just disappeared when a man named John White left his colony behind to go get more food and supplies. Now, let's start learning about these theories that these ladies have. All right, let's start with Carol. Go ahead.
I think that the Roanoke colony disappeared because the Queen of England, she sent dangerous animals that were making all of their supplies die out.
Okay, is there any questions about Carol's theory? Go ahead.
Where would Spain got the animals and all that? How would they transport them over there?
The question was, where would Spain get all the animals to get them to move? Carol, do you want to go ahead and answer that?
They could have gotten from like a zoo or something, or they could import them from a different area.
And go ahead.
Why would the Spanish want to even do that? And second off, they didn't have zoos back in the 1400s.
Do you want to answer that, Carol? All right. Next theory. May, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your theory?
I believe that the Indians came and attacked Roanoke so they wouldn't take over their land, and so they wouldn't end up losing their crops and land.
Okay, is there any questions on that?
My theory is that the Spanish took the Roanoke people back to Spain because they didn't want like their colony to grow any bigger, so that maybe, let's just say, it probably would be a long time, but take over Spain or something.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Why would Spain care if they got any bigger when Spain was big enough just to take them over right there? Instead of capturing them.
The question was, why do you think Spain would take them?
Why do I think Spain would take them? One reason is because, like, the king would probably didn't want like to grow like more powerful than them. It doesn't matter really what size, but they could still like.
All right. Our next question is, how do you think John White felt when he figured he had lost a daughter and a granddaughter? May, go ahead.
He felt like upset, mad, sad, wanting to go and find out where she was.
Carol, go ahead.
I agree with May.
Okay. And Jill.
Mine is different feelings, different expressions, different feelings, sad, kind of in the middle.
All right. Why do you think the Indians, the Spanish, or even Queen Elizabeth, well, let's start with Carol for a question. Why do you think Queen Elizabeth sent these people to go?
Because in my research, I heard that she got really mad at the Roanoke because they kept on like making up these theories and stuff about her. She got really mad. She didn't want to have any parts, so she put dangerous animals over there.
Is there any disagreement about that? Anybody disagree with that?
I disagree on that. I don't think like the queen would do that because didn't she like help them at the beginning? That was one of the colonies.
All right. Any questions out in the audience on that? Why do you think the Indians? Why do you believe the Indians did it?
So they wouldn't end up having to give up their land and lose their land or go into slavery by their own Romanokes.
Right. And Jill, why do you think the Spanish did it?
I think the Spanish did it was because their colony was still growing and it kept on growing and they didn't want it to get any bigger.
All right. Why do you think John White left? Do you think he left for the supplies as they tell us? Or do you think he left to abandon them? Jill, go ahead.
I think he left for supplies because they probably were running very low on it, and they probably needed some supplies to live.
You both agree? Anybody not? Okay. What are other things that you believe about happened to these people? May, go ahead. Like, what time do you think they attacked?
Like during the night while they were all sleeping.
Like, what kind of attack do you think it was? Like, open and out, or sneak, or...
They were sneaky, so they didn't wake up the people, so nobody knew.
Does anybody up here disagree with that?
I disagree because I think they attacked in early morning.
Go ahead, Becca.
Why would they attack at night be sneaky when they have more people than Roanoke?
May, I think this question is for you. Why do you think they... Oh, maybe it's for Jill. Jill, who is it for? May? Why do you think they attacked at night? This question.
Because it would be easier for them to get them without losing any men.
Any other questions? And do you guys disagree with May, or? All right. Jill, what are other things you believe happened to the lost people? Jill.
Oh, what other things I believe that happened to the lost people? I believe that they took them back to Spain and they forced them to stay in Spain. They probably gave them a house and everything, so it was actually part of them to grow also. Couldn't help them to grow too.
Questions or disagreements? All right, let's go with you.
Jill, I have a question for you. Why would the Spanish be afraid of the Roanoke colony being bigger than them when at that time Spain was huge? Why would they took them as slaves? Why would they do that? And you said that they would give them houses and treat them nice. Why wouldn't they? And if they did take them, why wouldn't they just be mean to them and give them slaves? And
Why wouldn't they probably make them slaves? Was because they're probably pretty much just like them, and then also their population in Spain would grow. Like maybe 60 people or however many they had.
But then you said Spain would be afraid of them Roanoke being bigger than them. At the time, Spain had maybe 2 or 4. Spain had
Because Roanoke was all the time growing,
but they only had
all the time, people were coming and people.
All right. Our next, I guess we can answer one more question before we go on. Go ahead.
And
Who's it for?
Who's it for first? What? Who's this question for?
This is for Jill.
Okay.
All right, Jill. Why would the Spanish give the Roanoke people houses when they could have gave them to hardworking sailors or poor peasants that didn't have any money or food? And Roanoke at that time was kind of dead because the only way you could get over there was by boat, and the English needed all the boats they could to fight in wars.
But isn't Spain quite close to Roanoke?
Yeah,
No,
Spain.
No, not really. About as close as England is.
Well, I'll have to think a little more about that. I'll get back to you.
All right, does anybody have disagreements or any more questions? All right, Carol, what are more things you believe about happened to the lost people?
My idea, and they could have just died of old age, and some of them might have just got hurt and got sick from some people that came and.
That's good. Any questions? What?
I don't see.
Who's your question for?
It's for
Carol. Carol.
I don't see how they could sustain life with diseases going around at that time. How can you prove that they died of old age and got hurt and then
The question is, how do you think they could survive without, with the diseases and everything. Do you want to answer that, Carol? All right. Well, I guess that kind of wraps up our debate. And thanks for watching Mystery Debate. To vote for someone's theory, go to www.mystery/girlsrule.com.